Hi Taurus, how are we today? Just doing our weekly reading. This week we're actually doing the monthly readings as well. So looking into March, seeing what's going on for you. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I do really appreciate that. And it does help you stay up to date with all the video uploads. This week we are using the Earth Wisdom Oracle. I also have here the Yin Yang Oracle. As well as the lenormand deck for the week. We are using the Taurus lenormand. Okay, so getting straight into it for you, Taurus, splitting the month, start, middle, and end. What is going on for Taurus in March? March 2025 for our Taurus. What does Taurus need to know for March 2025? Interesting. Firstly, we're seeing the boundaries card coming through here for you, Taurus. Respecting other people's boundaries, respecting your own boundaries, making sure you do have your boundaries up, and that you're following through on, making sure people are not crossing those. And if someone is disrespecting those boundaries, that you are, doing whatever's sort of necessary to keep your boundaries. I will clarify that, but it does feel very linked up with the middle of the month energy here. We have the responsibility. Okay, so I do just want to say that, this is not obviously all of you, but there does seem to be a couple of you here where it is very important to understand that it is your personal responsibility to have boundaries, okay, that you can't, well, like you can, but it's like, it's unfair of you to blame others for crossing your boundaries if you have not established that boundary in the first place, to some degree. Okay, and it's also your responsibility to, if you, are dealing with somebody and you hit a boundary of theirs and they clearly outline, this is a solid boundary of mine, it is then your responsibility to not break that trust with that person by pushing past the boundary. Okay, I am getting a clear boundary message here. And this may actually be a little bit confronting for some of you, because what the message is actually regarding is saying no. Okay, and it's coming through, the way it's coming through is in the extreme version. Here in Australia, on the back of all the toilet doors in the women's bathrooms, in pubs and clubs, quite a lot of them do have, learning about SA. It's okay to say no, consent type stuff. And that's sort of that's the message that's coming through very strongly here. But, there's elements of this with everything. It's not just, to the extreme of the SA stuff. It can just be saying, look, I said no, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do this. But because the message I'm getting is specifically into a message about somebody saying no, and then another person saying, oh, okay, I accept your no, but then they still try to push you into it in another kind of a way. They like, oh yeah, I heard that you said no, but then they try to like guilt trip the person into doing it anyway. Or, then they turn around and victimize themselves as, oh, but this, and guilt trip, coercion. If you have to coerce somebody into turning their no into a yes, it's never actually a yes. It's still a no that you have coerced into that they've kind of, a lot of the time it's, if you ask somebody the same question 50 times and they say no 50 times, and then the 51st time you ask them that question, they say yes. Do you know what? They're not actually saying yes. They're saying, I'm so sick of having to try to stand up for myself that it's easier for me to just say, okay, whatever, and go along with it, get it over and done with so we can move on. It's not a yes. Okay, so I'm getting messages about that coming through. And it's very, very linking up here with guilt. So as to whether that, for you personally, that's talking about, you feeling guilty for just giving in and whatever, going along with something that you didn't want to do because it was just easier in the moment to just go along with it and just give in to this person that was just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing on your boundary. Taking personal responsibility if you're someone that has been guilty of doing that. And like I said, it doesn't need to be to the extreme. This can just be, have a piece of cake. Go on, have it. You know you want to have that piece of cake. Go and eat it. Just have it. And the person's like, I really don't want a piece of cake. Oh, just try a little bit. Just have a little bit. Just the tip, Personal experience here. I'm getting a bit cranky about that. But taking personal responsibility if you have done something along those lines. Like I said, it doesn't need to be to that extreme. But yeah, just making sure you are very, very clear with yourself about, even those minor things where, oh, go on, don't feel bad. Just have that piece of cake. Go on, just try a little bit. Forcing someone to change their mind is crossing a boundary just as much as ignoring the no to start with and just forcing that in their face anyway. It's just kind of, that's how it's coming through here. Okay, so I just wanted to go over that a little bit here, Taurus. I'm of course, not blaming you or anything like that, but we are wanting to, it's 2025. We're taking personal responsibility for our actions, all right? We are, whether it be the little stuff or the big stuff, we're standing up and saying, do you know what? Yes, I effed up. I made a mistake. Yes, I should not do that. I will try to do better. I will do better. All right. And for those of you where it's the other way around, it's like, don't feel guilty about that because it's a very common thing. And why do you think people use guilt trips and that type of coercion? Because historically it works. They know that they can push and push and push, and eventually they will wear you down and that you will give in. That the responsibility for that is not on you finally going, oh, look, I'm so sick of this. I'm giving in and allowing this to happen. The responsibility is on them. You don't need to feel guilty that you finally gave in. They should feel guilty for asking you a second or a third time. Sometimes, asking a second time, we can let that slide because, clarification. But third, fourth, 50th time, there is no excuse for that. Clarify this message for Taurus, please. So we straight away, in the deep end, straight away. We have the Clover clarifying this. I do feel for a lot of you, this is more so you standing up for yourself, standing up for your own boundaries, being very clear with your own self, what your boundaries are, and that, do you know what, even if somebody sits here and asks me 100 times, I am not going to give in. And do you know what, this is something that a lot of people do struggle with this. I'm not going to lie. Like, I personally struggle with this, when it's my child. Children are great at this. And once again, we do actually need to teach children from a young age that doing that is not okay, to guilt trip people or to just ask and ask and ask and ask and ask until somebody gives in. Maybe I need to have this conversation with my child now that it's current thought. My child has been known to, oh, but Mum, what about if, can I, and they ask you for something, and you're just like, oh, just have it, whatever. Like when it's little things like a little snack and things like that, it's not the end of the world. Yeah. But we need to teach them now, because it may lead to this in the severe extreme case when this person is older. All right. This child is older. You don't want them to be that person that is pushing somebody into changing their answer. So yes, now that I've brought that up into my own conscious zone, I'm definitely going to have that chat with my child later today. Like we've touched on that sort of stuff before, but I don't think we've actually had that. So maybe I do have a Taurus placement, so maybe I do have a responsibility. Maybe that's what the responsibility is for some of you here. The responsibility is to teach somebody what boundaries are and why they're important, and that you need to demand your own boundaries be respected as well as respecting others. Because I am still getting that dual message here. So maybe for some of you, this is about teaching. All right, we do have the clover, like I said. So short-term luck is on your side. So it's very interesting, though, because we have the short-term energy followed by the long-term energy. So it's kind of, things in the short term are going to have a longer-term effect. So like I said, you need to teach that child now so that in the long term, they know that. But we also do see that it's okay for you to sort of take a chance, take a bit of a risk to, be vulnerable, be open and honest and vulnerable, emotionally honest with, bringing this to light, bringing this boundary up. Look, this is my boundary and this is why I have this boundary. I need to have this boundary. You asking me repeatedly, it's honestly, it's coercion. Please stop. Bring it to light. Teach. Let them know. If someone is doing that to you, say to them, look, do you realize that asking me repeatedly is actually a form of coercion? Please think about that. A lot of people don't think about it, or realize, because like I said, it's something that as children we work out. Oh, we can get away with it. If we ask mum for that lolly 20 times, we'll wear her down enough and she'll just go, yep, okay, just take it and get out of my face. So therefore, if that's never, addressed when they're young, it turns into an adult who does the same thing to people. Okay, so they may not have ever thought of it that way. So, if you want your peace and happiness, maybe you need to bring it out into the open and be a bit more, vulnerable and honest about, how this affects you, why this affects you. All right. It's part of your healing journey this month as well. We have Heal Thyself coming through. So I feel like for some of you, this is kind of energy of like, I've really struggled to stand up for myself in the past. And so this is part of your healing journey, I feel here, Taurus. Specifically around boundaries and, the coercion stuff with the repeated, I just keep getting that same message. Clarify Heal Thyself for Taurus at the end of March here. Okay, and I kind of feel here too, because we do see the transformation in the center of these cards here. We've got the mice, the coffin, and then the birds here. So having that conversation about your transformation, I'm kind of saying, like, the mice talks about your past. You're transformed. So it's okay to let people know, because this is letting people know, talking about it, having the conversation. Okay, and that's part of your healing here, is to let people know that, look, just because I let you get away with treating me like this in the past, you stressed me out. It stressed me out that you asked me so many times. I am making an effort to transform the way I approach this, and I am going and making an effort to, approach my boundaries in a different way, and I'm going to stand my ground. I've closed the door on that past version of myself that allowed myself to get stressed out and just go along with things. So talk about it, have the conversation. I have changed. I have transformed the way that I choose to deal with this, and I refuse to allow myself to be coerced anymore. I'm taking personal responsibility for my boundaries, and I'm refusing to allow those to be crossed. Have the conversation. Okay, so pretty specific message here for you, Taurus. So, obviously that is going to be of importance for quite a lot of you during March here. But there you go. That one flew out as well. Truth and expression. Okay, don't be afraid to express your inner truth. All right, but I did grab this deck specifically to start clarifying for you. Have a look and check in on work, career, finances for you, Taurus. Work, career, and finances for Taurus in March. Throwing things at me today. The Pluto card of transformation. So, for a lot of you, this is actually a work thing that's happening here with this boundary being crossed, because we do see the transformation that that's taking place has got to do with control tactics. Someone trying to control you, somebody's tactic to control you, control the situation, get what they want. All right? And you're releasing, surrendering, purging the need to just put up with that and be guilt tripped into that. And, you're transforming. You're releasing the version of yourself that allowed this person to take that control and, use those sorts of boundary crossing tactics on you. So for quite a lot of you, this is going to be specific to something happening during your, in your work life, your career, potentially financials as well. So for some of you, I'm actually, as soon as I said financials, definitely some of you there, somebody that they hound you for money. They will hound you and hound you and hound you until you just go, look, just take $20, get out of my face. It's not working for you anymore. You're releasing the need to go along with that, because you're chasing your fulfillment, your happiness, your wishes. You know that the sun is not going to shine. You're not going to find the happiness and the peace, within your own self, if you don't finally stand up for yourself and the truth, and expressing the truth of I don't deserve to be continually treated like this and be coerced anymore. All right. What's going on for Taurus in March with love and romance? Love and romance for Taurus in March 2025. We do see chemistry and passion coming through here. Definitely a strong connection here. We do also see, though, we have the reflection, the projections. I am actually getting with this is very mirroring energy, okay? The reflections, the projections. So, somebody feeling insecure about themselves, maybe triggering you or vice versa. All right. But what I'm actually picking up on here is you have this insane chemistry and passion with somebody, but one of you is feeling a little bit insecure during March, and it's reflecting on the other one in the way that the other one's going, oh, why aren't they acting so passionate? Why does it feel like the chemistry, like just something a bit iffy, something just doesn't feel right? It's because you're both reflecting each other, and one of you's feeling a little bit insecure about their own self and self-worth issues this month, for somebody, whether that's you or the person who is you're reflecting here. We do have separation and longing, so I don't feel as though that's a huge big separation. It feels more just like, oh, I miss them. I haven't seen them all day. But it does feel like, if it's a physical distance separation, it only feels like for a very short amount of time during March. It's just that longing for somebody. It's just that emotional separation a little bit this month, because while somebody's dealing with some ish. All right, they're trying to sort of face their mirror here. You do see in the mirror with this particular card, we have the child, the inner child there, and healing. All right, so somebody is just needing to do a little bit of extra work on their self-worth this month, that inner child healing stuff. We did see heal thyself coming through primarily around the end of the month for you there, Taurus. So I do feel as though there is just a bit of a reflection for you, leaving somebody maybe feeling like they're longing for a bit more closeness with you. They're just like, where did all the passion and chemistry go with my Taurus? I just just feel slightly disconnected at the moment, but it's because somebody is doing the work, basically. So once again, have the conversation. Have the conversation. I'm transforming myself right now. I'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days. I don't know why I heard that phrase, but that's what came through. But letting this person know that, look, it's not you, it's me. I'm healing, whatever. All right, or if that's the other way around, understanding that we're just doing some self-worth healing, some healing some insecurities there. So don't allow that to make you feel your insecurities pop up. Okay. That's what we have for you today, Taurus. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all again soon.